Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Sports. This is our gambling mini pod. Aaron and Greg here with you again today to talk a little gambling. Aaron, how you doing?
Pretty good yourself. Just waking up
Doing all
here.
right. You're a lot richer than I am after last week.
I did do pretty well last weekend. I did hit a 4-team round robin that I hit all 4 teams. So, which included the 4-team parlay and then a set of 4 3-team parlays. So it was Raiders, Washington, Chargers, and then I bailed on the end. I knew I should have just left it as the Cardinals win, but I went for the point spread.
Right. I had both of my parlays in football fail. One was blown by the Colts losing to the Jaguars. The other one was blown by the Lions losing to the Bears somehow.
Yeah. I had that same parlay. I won the 4 on. I also did a 5-team on that included the Colts. And so if that would have hit, that would have been a much bigger day than I already had, but it was a good day.
Yeah. And we do make bets that we don't talk about on the podcast here on the little mini pod. Right now I'm going to go over the ones that I did on the pod. So the 2 parlays that I did both failed. I did hit on my lock of the week, which was Seahawks -2. Which by the time game time happened, it was -3, but they still crushed that over Atlanta. Then I lost on both of my upset picks, which were Dolphins against New England and Carolina versus Las Vegas. And then I hit on my parlay for the English Premier League. So Arsenal, Leicester City, and Liverpool all won. So I hit on that one.
Same. Woo! Yeah. Go, Greg. Yeah, rode your coattails. And then I know you hate when I do this, but then I also added in Chelsea. I added in Chelsea and did a 4-team on that, and I hit that too.
Oof, you dick. So yeah. I make it a rule for all of you who don't know, I do not bet on Chelsea because I feel like it's going to affect the outcome of the game. As a gambler, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious, and I just I can't bring myself to bet on Chelsea. And I get upset when Aaron and Adam bet on Chelsea as well because I feel like it affects the outcome of the game, and I don't want that to happen. I want my Chelsea team to win.
But isn't the rule as long as we don't tell you it's okay?
True. As long as you don't tell me that you're betting on Chelsea, as long as I don't know, then it doesn't affect the outcome of the game.
I mean, I waited almost a week to tell you that I did it.
So if you ever catch me making a bet on Chelsea in this podcast, just beware. Just beware.
Yeah, that I think that would be the sign of the apocalypse of Greg betting on Chelsea.
I've done it a few times, and
really?
It's won, yeah. But like, it horrifies. It makes watching the game worse because I feel like my bet changes the universe in some way, butterfly effect kind of stuff.
So is that why the Vikings got hammered this last weekend? Is it because I bet on them?
Yes, that's 100% exactly why. You ruined my bet.
Well, I also bet on them, so.
Unbelievable. All right. Let's get into what we're going to do this week.
I not get to do mine from last week?
Go ahead.
Oh, so my lock parlay hit with Washington, Baltimore, and Kansas City. My dogs did not hit at all. So that was more like a flyer with a 2% bet. So nothing major loss there. Wasn't really having high hopes for that. But then also my lock of the Colts somehow lost to the Jaguars. I thought that was a sure bet, but apparently the Jaguars are not as terrible as everybody thought.
Or Phyllis Rivers is still Phyllis Rivers.
Or Gardner Minshew is just amazing. I don't know.
He's got mustache swagger for sure.
He does. He definitely has that. And then I didn't bring up the Cardinals spread last week. I should have. I loved that bet before we got on, and I forgot to mention it last week. So my bad.
Yeah. So I think we learned some lessons last week in NFL. One, it's kind of still preseason and nobody knows what the hell they're doing. So all the teams just kind of look the same as they did last year.
Accurate.
Really. And then bad coaches are still bad coaches. Bad quarterbacks are still bad quarterbacks.
Even if they change teams.
Yeah, good coaches are still good coaches. And Tom Brady is just the white version of Jameis Winston.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we ranking Mike McCarthy in this good coaches, bad coaches? Because I felt like he just got horribly outcoached in that game, even though McVay fucked that game up at the end and they could have lost.
Yeah. I am going to get to that later. So I'm going to put him in the bad coach thing right now. And I'm betting against him this week. So
I've been saying this since they hired him and you were all about it.
I like the talent on that team, and I think he's better than Jason Garrett, but he didn't.
Jason Garrett could have done exactly as well as Mike McCarthy did last week.
Right. He didn't show like he knew what he was doing last week. So it remains to be seen. Again, I think the Zoom off season kind of plays into the hands of all these teams are just the same as they were last year kind of thing. Okay. So it's hard for new coaches, especially, to implement new things. And for new quarterbacks who went to new teams, I think the same kind of thing happened. Like Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady look great. And it's because they're on new teams and they just haven't had all the off season to get things done. So we need to keep that in mind when we're making our bets. Do you have a lock this week?
There are so many open games this week because the money lines are so far apart. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Just to pick out one, I mean, you could go with Kansas City and Baltimore almost every week as a virtual lock. But this week, I think I'm really liking Kansas City of those two. I mean, you could go with either. You could go with both. I would actually suggest parlaying both teams every single week and seeing how far that gets you, because you might actually do pretty well. Because right now the Chiefs are minus 375 against the Chargers, and the Ravens are, minus 286 against Houston. So if you put those together, you'd probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of minus 130. Not bad for a pretty solid lock there.
Yeah, I got a lock of. I'm going to take a little bit of a risk because I want to get decent odds on my lock here, but I'm taking Seattle minus.
I like
4.
that.
If you want to take the line, Seattle minus 4, I think they're going to kill the Patriots. To be honest, not kill them, but I think they're a good 10-point, 7-point kind of victory there for Seattle.
It is in Seattle.
Yeah, not that the fans are going to make any difference there, but that Patriots having to fly across the country, I don't think they're going to be able to do that running thing with Cam that they did last week against Seattle because they'll kill them. But then the money line is also minus 190, I believe. So I like those odds. I'm going to take that. If I'm looking to do some parlays, maybe a 3-team parlay there then is Kansas City, Baltimore, and Seattle, if you want to throw that in there.
I actually have that one.
So there you go.
There you go.
Upsets this week?
Who you got?
Oh, I got Cincinnati plus 215 against Cleveland. That's tonight, so you got to get on that one in a hurry. I got Atlanta plus 175 over Dallas. That's kind of my favorite upset pick this week. I don't trust Dallas yet. They lost their best linebacker last week. Mm-hmm. Atlanta's offense, even though they got beat last week pretty bad by Seattle, their offense looks pretty good. Their defense is kind of crap. That could be a shootout, and I think either team could win in a shootout in that game. And then you really want to take a risk, the New York Giants plus 200 against Chicago. I do not believe in Mitchell Trubisky as quarterback. I don't care what he did in the fourth quarter last week. And then, back to the Cincinnati-Cleveland thing. Cleveland sucks, man. Even though
defense is good.
They weren't last week, but they were playing.
They're playing one of the best rushing offenses in the game, and
sure,
a dynamic player in Lamar Jackson. So
we have to try not to overreact to what happened against Baltimore. However, there's just like Odell Beckham still isn't on board, and like I just don't feel like they are swinging right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Burrow is actually looked pretty good for Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's ready for a little breakout game here against a team that doesn't feel sure about itself, and Cincinnati probably feels pretty good after that first game, even though their kicker kind of blew it for them. So it's right for an upset there.
I think Freddie Kitchens broke Baker Mayfield. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, something happened there.
He does not look right. Like in the entire game, overthrowing Odell Beckham. He can't get on the same page with that guy. I don't know what's going on there, but
yeah,
it's pretty ugly. But I think once they actually get the run game moving in the right direction, that might open things up for him a little bit. But
you got any different upset picks?
I got the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, see, I thought about that as a lock. I really like Tennessee in that game.
I do like Tennessee, but the odds were too good, and Jacksonville looked so good last week that I couldn't let them go for that price. Because I got them yesterday at plus 420. I think they're down to plus 350 now. So, but I would still go that route at plus 350. That would be my underdog of the week. And then I also I did 4 of the underdog. I did all of them in a round robin bet. And you have actually mentioned all of the other ones so far. So it's Jacksonville, the Giants, Atlanta, and the Bengals. So I put them all into let's see, what did I do? Did I do 3 ways? Yeah, so I did a round robin. So round robin, if you're not familiar, you can make multiple bets and then change how they're bet against each other. So you can turn it into like multiple 3-leg parlays, multiple 2-leg parlays. You could do single bets. And so I did a single bet on all of them. And then I did a 4-leg parlay on all of them. And then I did a 3-leg parlay on all 4. So it turns it into 4 3-leg parlays.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I took some risks with my parlays this week. So I have 2 parlays. I have one that's using only spread and one that's using only money line.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to go a little risky, and I'm trying to increase my odds so that I can get a bigger payout.
Okay.
It will not work, but I'm gonna explain why I'm choosing these. So I have a 6-team spread parlay that ends up being plus 45.02, so that's basically 45 to 1.
It's pretty good.
I have Minnesota plus 3, the Giants plus 5.5, Seattle minus 4, Cincinnati plus 6, Atlanta plus 4.5, and Baltimore minus 7. If I think there's a chance, a very small chance, but maybe a 45 to 1 chance that all of those hit. But if all of those hit, you put a $2 bet on that, you can come out with $95.
Yeah,
not too bad. And again, if you wanted to like maybe add a teaser to that, you could add maybe a -7 teaser or something like that. Change your odds on every single one of those. It's gonna give you a weaker payout, but a higher probability of winning.
How much does that teaser drop them? Does it drop each team, or does it drop your total?
So for every single one of them, it would drop the line by whatever you choose to be on the teaser. So I think DraftKings has like 6 or 7 different teasers, and you can choose which one you want. But it'll change all the odds based on which teaser you choose. You can choose a +10, you can choose a -10, or whatever.
Okay.
Is the way I understood it. I'm not recommending teasers right now because I don't understand enough about it yet. But my money line parlay is just 3 teams that I've already talked about that I kind of like, and I'm taking risks. They're all upsets. Atlanta plus 163, Minnesota plus 138, and Cincinnati plus 215. Gives me a plus 1871. So almost 19 to 1 odds on that.
pretty good. Oh, I did forget to mention my odds on the bets I took. Let's see if it will give me my totals. It does not give me my full total, but I think the 4-team parlay on all the dogs I took was plus 9,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I think I ended up putting $3 on it, and I ended up with a $210 win. So,
Any other bets you got that are not football related, or any other football bets you want to bring up?
I do have also a favorites parlay I did of Chiefs, Ravens, Seahawks, and Rams. So I also did that in a round robin with 3-leg parlays. So I have that as all 4, and then 4 3-leg parlays.
Cool.
So, but then straight bets, I didn't do very many. The only one I took, I think, was the Rams at, what were they, plus 110, because DraftKings is currently offering a 25% boost for week 2 NFL games if you do straight bets.
Yeah.
So.
I did bet last week, so I talked about this with Aaron, I think offline, but I've been making, I do picks every week for just a pick'em league, and I do pretty good, and I get like 9, 10, up to 12 games right every week. So I figured why not just, drop $1 on each team every week on money line, just see, overall, I think the total would end up paying out as a winner if I'm getting 75% of the games correct.
Yeah.
So I did that.
I think in my picks last week, as a total, I was 11-5. So,
you do that over the course of the season, you make a few dollars.
Yeah.
So I have a Premier League 5-team parlay for you this week.
Do I need to get a pen for this?
You might, if you're really interested. It gives me it pays out at plus 1140. So.
Ooh, okay. You can talk about that. I'm going to grab a pen.
So, here we go. I like Man United starting their season off. They're minus 305 against Crystal Palace. So I'll take Man U in that. Everton minus 190 over West Brom. Leicester City minus 155 against Burnley. Tottenham plus 140 against Southampton. And then Arsenal minus 186 against West Ham. In theory, those should all be victories for those teams. I can tell you Southampton did not look good. Neither did Tottenham, but Tottenham has way too much talent to just not be able to score a goal against Southampton. Leicester City looked good enough to score a few times in their last game, so them over Burnley is a good match. Burnley's kind of a boring team. Everton looked really good. West Brom is not good, so Everton should win that game. Man United, it's just head and shoulders above Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace looked like shit last week. So, and then Arsenal looked really good as well. West Ham, not a good team. Have no goal scorers. Look to be struggling. So, 5-team parlay there. Maybe you can do some round robin stuff in there. But plus,
probably will. The only question I have is, wasn't Tottenham really terrible last week?
Yes, and that's
didn't they lose against a bad team?
No, they lost against Everton. So
okay, that's what it was.
Tottenham. That's why Tottenham is plus 140. Southampton, I think, in that game is like plus 190. So there's
okay.
They're both of the favorites are plus right now. However, I just feel like Tottenham is set and ready to score a couple of goals in this game. And again, I watched the Southampton game. They look like crap against. I think it was Crystal Palace, but I'm just I think Tottenham's set to win this game. So that's the biggest risk out of the 5, but they're still a good team, man.
Like you said, even if I was to roll this into a round robin, every game I have that doesn't include Tottenham would likely win. So, and I would be okay with that, and it's an added bonus. The only non-football bets I have as far as today goes, I have a very, very small amounts on golf just because I just pick winners. So winners of the U.S. Open, Bryson DeChambeau, Webb Simpson, Xander Schauffele, and John Rahm. And I put $1 on each of them. So
none of those guys currently atop the leaderboard, I can tell you.
no, I isn't it Dustin Johnson?
Yeah.
And he was
Dustin Thomas. Yeah.
by far the favorite going in. So
I got an odds boost bet on just any American to win the U.S. Open, so I made that. That seems safe.
Okay.
Unless Rory busts it. So I also want to point out the two of us both made bets back in June to get the Nuggets into the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
that paid off pretty good for both of us. And however, as much as I love my Nuggets, I got Lakers in 6 in this series. So in the Western Conference Finals, keep that in mind. I also have Miami beating Boston in that series. I think we're going to have a Lakers-Miami NBA Finals.
I'm not going to lie. I take 80% of my basketball information from you. So
it's hard to count the Nuggets out because they should have been eliminated twice already. But the Lakers just have too much. Anthony Davis is going to be a good counter to Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray is going to get exposed, probably going to get tired in the middle of this series somewhere. I'm not sure the Nuggets have anybody to guard LeBron, so who looks to be on a mission? I think LeBron's on a mission this year. I got Lakers winning the whole shebang. So.
And I took them early, so
same.
It just made sense. The only other bets I have as far as outside football other than golf, I have some hockey, just a little bit. I like the Islanders tonight, and I like their goals under 5. So I took that, and then I feel like if the Islanders win tonight, they're going to win the series. It is all kind of dependent on whether or not the Tampa Bay Lightning get healthy in the next, 10 hours. So I don't know if that can happen, but
you like Dallas to win the whole thing?
I would say if I'm picking anybody, I'm going to go Islanders. I like the Islanders style of play. They lock things up. They play defense well, and then they also have 3 guys that can put the puck in the net on the regular.
You just described the Dallas Stars to me, but
one of those 2 teams, they're very, very close. The only difference is the Dallas Stars are the bigger team.
All right. There you have it. That's the word.
Cheers.
Go for your bets. Good luck to everybody out there. May the odds be ever in your favor.